Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone had a great day yesterday. I ended up watching a little Bob Ross last night. He was painting a mountain scene. It was beautiful. So, if you're really looking for something good, though, the Last Dance documentary on ESPN about the Bulls, oh my gosh, it will tell you why Michael Jordan's better than LeBron. I mean, just watch it. Better than LeBron. I want to take a second, though, before we really begin, excuse me, to tell you guys how much I miss seeing you in the classroom. I really do. I miss working with you at the table. So if you guys need anything, just email. We can work out any time to work on math together, or if I can help you with the other subjects. Don't hesitate to ask, really. So let's get started. So when we think about a problem like 2/3 times 5, 6. So let's use that problem. You guys have said that multiplying the denominators, 3 times 6, multiplying the denominators is going to tell us how many total pieces. So we can think of it as in something like this. Total pieces. And then multiplying the numerators tells us how many pieces that we're concerned about. Do you guys agree with this? Multiplying the denominators is going to tell us how many total pieces. And then multiplying the numerators is going to tell us how many pieces that we're concerned about. What do you guys think about that statement? Do you think that's true? Let me know. All right, let's go over homework. Your homework, because you're doing it at home. Number 1, Samantha owns half of a section of land. She plants squash on half of her section. So we're just doing 1/2 times 1/2. And of course, we're going to get the answer of 1/4. I would love for some of you to take some photos again. I know some of you have been doing that, but I would love to see even more of you take some snapshots of these pages and post them with the private comment. You can add a photo. I know Robbie's been doing it, and Jack and some other people, so maybe they can also help us on how to do that. So Robbie, if you could leave a comment for everybody on how to do that, that'd be great, because I would love to see everyone's land and their planting. Number 2, Cecilia owns 1/3 of a section of land. She plants tomatoes on 1/2 of her land. So if we had Cecilia here, and Cecilia owned 1/3 of a section of land, so that would be easy for us to do. We could divide it into 3 sections. And this is page 455, by the way. And then, of course, she plants tomatoes on half of her land. So we're just concerned about, this was her original, right? And then we did the second way. So we're really only going to end up with 1/6 as our answer. Let's actually jump to page 456. So I'm not going to do every question on every page, but I do want to jump to 456. And this is, again, a kind of a review from things that we've done previously in this unit. So Mitch went on a hiking trip. On the first day, he hiked the 6-mile wildflower trail. So we know that the wildflower trail is 6 miles. It's important to recognize, because we're going to need that to help us solve the rest of these problems. And so on the second day, Mitch hiked the Lake Point Trail. How long is the Lake Point Trail? Well, the Lake Point Trail is 2/3 as long as the Wildflower Trail. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2/3 times 6. So we should know that we need to put 6 over 1, right? 6 over 1. So when we multiply, we get 12 over 3. So this is an improper fraction, and so we need to divide to make it a mixed number. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. We subtract and get 0. So we end up with the answer of 4 miles. So I hope you guys ended up with that answer as well. All right. On the third day, this is number 2, Mitch hiked the Pinecone Trail. The Pinecone Trail is 1 1/6 times as long as the Wildflower Trail. So we're going to do one of these because this is a mixed number times a whole number. So it's 1 1/6 times 6. All right. So let's see what we can do. The very first thing we're going to do is take our two whole numbers. So we're going to take the 1 times the 6, and we get 6 there, of course. And now we're going to do 1/6 times 6, which we of course have to put over 1. And we end up with 6 6. Now we should remember from fraction class that anytime you have a numerator and denominator and they are the same, you have a whole number. You have one whole. So we need to take the 6 that we got here as our answer, as our product, and add it to this product. So 6 plus 1 equals 7. And so we end up having 7 miles as our answer. So just remember, take your whole numbers first and multiply them. So we did the 1 times the 6. And then we did the fraction 1/6 times 6, which we had to put 6 over 1. And we got 6 6, which is one whole. And we added those two products together. Number 3, on the fourth day, Mitch hiked the Big Timbers Trail. The Big Timbers Trail is 1 1/2 times as long as the Wildflower Trail. How long is the Big Timbers Trail? So Big Timbers is going to be 1 1/2 times 6. So again, we have to do our whole numbers first. 1 times 6, we get 6. 1/2 times 6 over 1, we get 6 over 2, which is an improper fraction. When we divide 2 into 6, we get 3. So we're going to add 6 plus 3, and we're going to get 9 miles as that answer. Let me know if you have any questions about problems like those, because I'll be happy to help you. Today is our last day, really, of multiplying before we get into division of fractions, which we're going to get into. By the way, our student of the day is Will. Will is our student of the day. Let's go ahead and leave that as a private comment. Today, you're going to work on page 457 and page 458. So on page 458, I'm going to help you out with a tougher problem. So excuse me as I clean off my board here. It's high-tech AV equipment here. So let's do number 8 on page 458. So the problem is 3 1/3 times 240. Now we want to work this one out because it's a little bit bigger. You know, it's bigger than obviously 1 1/2 times 6 that we've been doing. So let's start. Let's do 240 times 3. And we're going to do 240 times 3, of course, because we're multiplying those whole numbers. We're taking this whole number, which makes up our mixed number, and we're multiplying by this whole number. So 3 times 0, of course, is 0. 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I'm getting 720 so far. So now what I need to do is do 1/3 times 240. Because we did this part, now we have to do that fraction. So of course we're going to put 240 over 1. We get 240 over 3. All right, so what do we have to do? Well, this is an improper fraction, so we're going to have to divide. We're going to divide our denominator into our numerator. And I have a feeling that it's going to go in there evenly. Does anyone know why I have that feeling? Think for a second. Why do I know already that 3 is going to go into 240 evenly? Well, cover up that 0. Does 3 go into 24? Sure does. So 3 is going to go into 240. Learning those divisibility rules, learning it's going to help you guys so much. 3 goes into 24 8 times. We get 24. 0, bring down our 0. 0, 0. So, anyway, 80 plus 720 is going to equal a total of 800. So we did number 8 on page 458. And we got 800. Well, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.